Hello there people, Snow Crash here, back with some more Scrap Mechanic. And back with, I don't know, a little tip, a little thing I want to show you today. And I think you'll find it pretty interesting. It's certainly going to be something that anybody playing the game is going to be able to use in their creations or whatever, because it's cool. But as you guys know, and while I wander around here and look at the lovely scenery, as you know, I'm working on a big build, the Millennium Falcon. And one of the problems I've started to encounter are bugs. Yes, that's right. I did say early on that I haven't seen any bugs. The game runs pretty awesome. And it does, until you start to reach some limitations. And that build is getting pretty big. You know, it's getting up to about 10,000 blocks, like individual things all stuck together. And it's got a fly and all that sort of stuff. And I am getting crashes, and I'm getting huge frame rate drops. And it is bugs. It's code problems. It's not the computer. I'm not reaching 100% CPU or anything like that. So they do have a long way to go with any sort of massive structures, which does worry me a little for survival, because if this does end up being like a multiplayer, you got 10 players on, and you know you've got to deal with millions of blocks being placed by players, and if they're not handling it very well, they've got a big task. But anyway, what it got me thinking about was some of the crashes were caused by this guy here, suspension members. I've got it. Normally you'd have this pointing down, but whatever. It's a spring with, you know, in the real life it's got oil in it and a spring, and you use them on cars and things like that. And then it sort of, I do know a little bit about programming, and I thought, how have they implemented this in code? And it actually isn't a very easy thing to do. And in fact, they've not done it very well at all. And I'm about to show you it's broken. It sort of does the job that it's intended, but it also has some unintended consequences, which I'm going to show you here. Okay, so what we've got here is just a platform of wood with a seat on it, nothing very special. And I'll show you how to induce torque into a structure, and you can use that to your advantage. We'll just pop a block down there, go up one more. We'll put a bearing on, and another block there. Stick your suspension member sitting out like that. Put a block on the end, and I'm going to attach that to the steering. All right, let's get rid of the hoist, and you know what? Yeah, what we're going to do is get the seat, face it this way, reconnect it to that. There we go. Now we can see what we're doing. All right. Okay, you might have just seen what happened. You might have just seen what happened there. So anyway, just to show you that the steering just makes this thing go left and right. You know, if you had that pointing down, then you'd be steering your steering wheels. But for this purpose, we're just going to have this twisting it up and down like that. Basically, what has gone wrong here with their mathematics model is that this thing doesn't really know that this end's connected to this end when under torsion. So if I put a block there, which is attached to the main platform, and I do something crazy like get rid of that one and bring a block across like that, and just one there to be on the safe side, and one there, jump in, holy moly, yeah, you saw it. And then the other way, and then that way. Okay, if I can actually control this. I can sort of tip each side up. See that? So what's going on here is this little bearing here, which is trying to twist up or down, and it's trying to. This suspension member here is trying to twist that down. It's got the block on the end. Push it down or push it up. It can't do it. But as I said, in the maths model, it thinks that it's pushing against another structure, and like everything in life, when you push against something, it has an equal and opposite reaction, and it's counteracting it by twisting the whole platform because it thinks we're pushing against something else. Now, in the real world, obviously, this is going to do absolutely nothing because that's twisting. It's pushing on effectively itself because all this is connected together, and either this is going to break, snap off, or nothing's going to happen at all. The bearing might break. But in this model, that's not quite how it works. we can just twist ourselves, and it's very powerful. It's as powerful as the bearing, and I'm holding it down now, and you can see it's absolutely going crazy. I can go that way, I can go the other way. All right, let me just, hang on, pulse it back over. There we go. What can you use this for? Well, apart from something pretty hilarious, you can use it for, instead of thrusters, to level your spaceship or hovercraft or even your car. You can use this to tilt it one way or another. Now, there's no reason why you couldn't have this going in the other direction. There's no reason why you couldn't make it spin the whole thing around. Okay, so there's some other things you can do here as well. If you want to, let me just get rid of that block and that block. If you just want like a pulse of torque, you'll see here that, hang on, here we go. See how it popped out then? Let me swing around this side. See how it's popping out? I'm holding it down, by the way. The steering wheel I'm just leaving, and because it's like just sort of notching out of its little container there, it's just giving you a pulse of stability. See? And so there's another little trick you can use if you just want a little sort of pulse. Now, bear in mind that this thing's going crazy because it's really, really light. If we grab like a whole chunk of metal and, put on something like that, give this thing some weight, you'll see that things become a lot more under control and not a problem. So it's like twisting out there. So on a bigger sort of heavier thing, you could even have two of these doing the job. You can orient them any way you like, as I said. Really handy. Here's another thing you can do. Think about this. Let's chop that off. And what we'll do is we'll get our wooden blocks, come up a little more. I'm just trying to work out what my spacing's like. And if we can crouch down, put another suspension there, put a block attached to that suspension, and now we've got like this dampening. In fact, it's so weak, I can't even see it moving because I've got all this weight, all this metal. Let's just get rid of some of this. But on a light craft, this gives you a nice sort of little way of adjusting just minute amounts of torque. All right, and now that I've dampened it, you'll see that the old-fashioned way was this craziness. But now, because I've got the dampener in the other direction, it's this nice, steady, hang on, I can almost keep my platform up. I can't do it the other way because it's the craziness. But you can almost see that it's nice and slow. You can slow it right down. Anyway, there you go. The possibilities are endless with that. Will they patch it? I think they could. I think they can fix this. It might involve a fair algorithmic change in the code, so I don't think it's going to be a priority for them to fix it. You could stabilize a car, you could stabilize your hovercraft using this. Basically, you can twist something without needing thrusters, and it instantly turns off and all that sort of stuff. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, I've got this thing connected to the steering wheel. How are you going to use that in some other sort of format? You do have to use the controller, and you just grab one of those, stick it down here, connect it to that bearing there, and, well, you can activate the controller any way you like, a button, a sensor. I'm just going to use a switch here and put that there, connect that to there, and look at the direction it's going. I'm going to do the lightweight one, which is the up one, into that other dampener there. That's blue. We'll put it to 30 degrees. Let's have a look. There we go. And basically, if I just let that go, that's going to roll off into the distance, and I'm never going to find my thing again. But if you can catch it, you can deactivate it by putting it back on the hoist somehow like that. Okay. All right, guys. Well, that was just a really quick one I wanted to show you. Well, that's a bit close. Isn't he ugly? I mean, seriously, this guy, red nose. Oh, hideous. If you're listening, Axolot, whatever you're called, make some attractive characters, please, or allow us some customization or something. I'm so tempted to go in and change the textures. Okay, I'm getting distracted here. So this is just a little something I wanted to show you, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the thumbs up, blah, blah, blah. This has been Snow Crash. Until next time, guys, I'll catch you later. Cheers.